trust with your children? You know, it's something that we parents struggle with every day when we're looking for nannies and babysitters. I want you to take a look at this picture. Would you trust this man with your 9-year-old daughter? His name is Terrence Goodman. He's 37 years old, and police in Central Florida are looking for him tonight. He's accused of raping a 9-year-old girl. Cops consider this guy so dangerous, they've already set a $3 million bond. Even more disturbing, the victim's mother says this man was a friend of the family.
The person you could trust the most has violated the trust of a young one. She's 9 years old.
We've got the probable cause affidavit, and here's how this little girl described to police what happened to her.
While walking through the woods, the defendant began to connect several black zip ties together, grabbed her and put the zip ties around her ankles. The victim attempted to run, then stopped and asked the defendant what he was doing. The victim disclosed that the defendant put his arm around her neck in a sleeper-type hold and began to tighten his grip around her neck. The victim stated the defendant told her if she didn't cooperate, he would put her to sleep forever and she would never see her family again. The defendant then told the victim to call him daddy. The victim told her mother. The defendant then cut the zip ties off her ankles, took her pants and shirt off, and tore her underwear off.
That sexual assault took place afterwards. Joining me tonight, HLN law enforcement analyst Mike Brooks, Lieutenant John Harrell of the Lake County Sheriff's Department, and clinical psychologist Sheela Raja. Lieutenant, let me start with you. What's the latest in the manhunt?
Right now, we have not located him. We are continuing with our efforts to search for him in the Ocala National Forest, which is in the north end of our county. We've received information that he may possibly be hiding out there. We've also checked with various family members, none of whom have had any contact with him. So at this point, we're just really working to get the word out and ask for the public's assistance in finding him so that we can get him in custody where he belongs.
Absolutely, folks. Take a look at his picture. Also, his car, 1987 brown Jeep Comanche, black toolbox in the back, Florida tags on it. Here's the tag number, ADZR20, ADZR20. You got any information, 800-423-TIPS. Terrence Lee Goodman is his name. Sheela Raja, here's the part that troubles me about this story. I mean, all of it troubles me. But this was someone who was a family friend, someone who the mom trusted, and someone who this 9-year-old girl trusted. How do we figure out if behind that trust there is someone who could do what this man is accused of doing, Sheela?
Absolutely. It's such a good question. It's not about being paranoid, it's about being protective of our children. And we need to ask ourselves as parents the hard questions. You know, why does this person want to spend time alone with my child? You know, why are they taking a special interest in my kid? And, you know, those are hard questions for us to ask ourselves as parents, but we owe it to our kids to do that. It's not about being paranoid, it's about being protective.
Mike Brooks, as I heard the details in that affidavit, I was thinking to myself, this guy's so brazen. This guy sounds like he's done it again. What do you think?
He planned this out, Vinny. You know, he's a convicted felon on probation for grand theft, but I find it hard to believe that this is the first time he has ever attempted or actually done something like this. You know, he's not a convicted sex offender. I mean, he's not a registered sex offender. He is a convicted felon, but I still find it hard to believe this is not his first time.
Yeah, it's just not his first time doing this. Again, from the probable cause affidavit, why don't you take a listen here to what this 9-year-old little girl told investigators about what he said to her afterwards.
The defendant then told the victim he knew he was sorry and that he was a big jerk and that he knew she was going to tell her parents. The defendant then told the victim he was going to kill himself and left the residence in his vehicle.
Lieutenant, any evidence that there's an attempted suicide, or are these just words and he's out there hiding from the law tonight?
No evidence either way at this point. You know, that's a realistic possibility. He may have committed suicide. At this point, we do not know. We are just continuing our efforts to locate him. Hopefully, we can find him and put him in jail where he belongs so that he can be held accountable for his actions.
Maurice is in Georgia tonight. Maurice, your thoughts as we hear this horrible story tonight.
Yes, I just walked in my door, and this is the very first thing I saw on my television tonight. And I don't think that Goodman is the type of person that his surname suggests. I think he's a bad man, someone that would commit a crime like this against a child. In my opinion, if he's found guilty of this crime, he should be tied himself and thrown to the lions.
Maurice, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Sheila, Roger, how about this 9-year-old now? She's been through this. How does she turn the corner? How does she get better? How does she heal? Is it a way for her to forget about what happened?
Well, I don't know that she's ever going to forget about what happened. I mean, this is a life-threatening thing that she went through, but she survived it. She's clearly got a mom who believed her and supported her. Now it's up to the teachers, the community to rally around her, to keep her in her routines as much as possible. And she can survive, and she can even thrive after this, but it's up to all of us to help her to
Absolutely,
do that.
and we're looking for your help tonight, folks. Have you seen this guy? Call police.
I had her walk me out to the woods because she said her clothes were still in the woods. She showed me the spot. I took a picture of my phone of the clothes and I called authorities.
Do you believe he could harm another child?
If he harmed my daughter, yeah.
Manhunt tonight down in Central Florida looking for this man. Take a look at him. We even know his name, Terrence Lee Goodman. Take a close look. 37 years old, wanted on sexual battery charges. Arrest warrant has been issued. The alleged victim, a 9-year-old girl. 9 years old. Let's go to the phone lines tonight. Susie's in Wisconsin. Good evening, Susie.
Hello. I'm not real keen on this. I don't know what's wrong with the justice system, but let me tell you what. He needs the death penalty. Any sick person that can rape a child, who is going to work this out of this child's mind, and who's going to pay for the care of this child? I'm sick of paying for killers and rapists and everybody else to go to prison, get 3 warm meals, get a warm place to
3
sleep.
hots in a cot, Susie. Susie, thanks so much for the call. I'm sure your sentiments are shared by a lot of folks watching tonight. When you hear the story, 9-year-old victim here we're talking about. Lieutenant, how is it that the mom knew the guy we're looking for, Terrence Lee Goodman, and how was it that he was able to get to this girl one-on-one?
Well, Goodman was a relative to the family, and the mother had to go into the hospital that day for a short amount of time, and she had arranged previously for Goodman to watch the victim in her absence, and apparently he picked her up at the bus stop, proceeded to the point at which he took her for a walk through the woods, and that's when the attack took place. So, I mean, you know, he was a relative, and they felt very comfortable with him. They trusted him, and he took advantage of that trust and violently attacked her.
Yeah, he's the one who broke the trust. And Mike Brooks, you know, for parents out there, you know, we can't always be there 24/7 for our children. This woman had to go to the hospital, so you think you can trust someone? Is there any advice you would have for folks out there, Mike, when it's time to figure out who you can and can't trust? Because I'm almost at a loss here.
No, it's really tough. You know, Lieutenant said that it was a relative, so it wasn't like it was a stranger where you can say, hey, I'm going to do a background check on you, or someone who's around our kids all the time at school, you know, after-school activities, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, where they do run background checks in most communities. This is a really tough one because he had no history as a sex offender, Vinny. But as I said, I still find it hard to believe that he hasn't at least tried this somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't think it's... And Sheila, Roger, do you agree? Probably not the first time he's attempted something like this?
You know, certainly that would be a good guess, and I think that we got to have those hard conversations with our kids, too, about your body belongs to you, and tell me if somebody's not making you, you know, feel right or something feels strange to you. You've got to come forward. You've got to talk about it. That's hard.
This little 9-year-old girl, very brave afterwards, telling her mom all the details and speaking to investigators. Lieutenant Harrell from Lake County, good luck in your search in that manhunt. Please keep us up to date with everything happening there. Sheila, Roger, Mike Brooks, thank you as well.
Thank you.